adding to the song, where it's like you add chaos on chaos, it just get better to a certain point. And then after that, we got instead of the calm before the storm, we get the calm after the storm.
Yeah.
Where we have this really calm part.
Yeah.
And I think that really balances out the chaos that came before it, and we can breathe a little bit, and then come back to the verse, right?
So at this point we didn't have the call and response yet.
Yeah.
I had just written my section, but it was after we got Øystein Helland on keyboards, and we figured out that he was actually a good singer, so he could actually sing on stuff and not just harsh vocals, but actually clean vocals as well. So I started by just figuring out, okay, where on the album can I showcase that? Because that was something we wanted to do and still want to do on our second album, to kind of have more of other vocalists other than me. But on the first album I was like, where can I kind of squeeze him in to kind of show that this will become a thing later on? And that was one of the sections where I wanted to add that. So I wrote the call and response there. And then you were like, oh, I'm hearing this harmony things on top. So that you added. And I was actually very impressed when I heard your version of that, because you had this sort of, there was something similar to Ross Jennings from Haken in your voice there, which was really surprising, because I hadn't really heard you sing that much before. You had done some backup vocals, but very few of them. So actually that made me realize that, okay, we can have both of you doing that section. So it's a call response between me and you and Øystein.
Yeah. Then, like you said, it really turned into this, we want to just have more vocals everywhere, and then that really just pushed the boundaries of what we could achieve.
And I'm just really inspired to just do much more of that in our later material after this first album.
Absolutely, and you can listen to that part where this is the stems from the mastered song.
The time is now. The time is now to act the part. To act the part. I'm looking at the Arcane Horizons. The world won't wait for you. The world won't wait for you. Open your eyes.
It sounds really good. So it's like the deep vocals is Øystein Myhre, and the higher vocals is you in that section, and then it's me and you two singing that section. And just playing that with the keyboards, it's really nice. I want to somehow make a version of this song where we kind of highlight that with maybe just keyboards and acoustic guitars and the vocals, or something like that, somewhere down the road. Or that would be cool to kind of just showcase the kind of beauty in the song that's sometimes hidden, but it's there.
There's a lot of details that might go, missing in the context. Where
it's a lot happening. It's drums, it's bass, it's a lot of stuff happening there. But if you just play the keyboards and vocals, it's still, that's almost enough by itself. So it's almost too bad that it's hidden behind the other stuff, but that's what happens when you write a song. You have to have different sections, different parts, and sometimes you have to have two things. Even though one of the things sound good by itself, it still need a context to kind of fit the song.
I think we need to say as well that Roland Sharma did an amazing job on keyboards. Of course, we hired Rowan in before we got our bassist and now bassist and keyboard players in the band, and we couldn't ask for a better job than Rowan did for us, really. And to see that our keyboard player now is just adapting what Rowan is doing and also putting in his own spin on it, tells me that the next writing process is going to be really cool, and also that we can do something different when we're playing the song live, and the song is still evolving even after we put a record or a deadline on it.
Even after basically 3 years working on this song, because this was the first thing we started after Crystallized, basically. So even 3 years in the making, with Henrik doing his things and then leaving the band, and then others interpreting his stuff, and then we doing our stuff over and over and over again, and then finally releasing the song, and then we do different stuff now than what's on the recording, because it's always evolving. And it's you're never finished.
You're never finished.
You're just saying at some point, now I'm releasing this as it is right now, and maybe 10, 20 years down the road, you feel it's evolved enough that you might want to re-record it, because it's different. It's enough different now that you want to showcase a different version of it, and maybe we will do that with some of our songs, but
10 years time.
in 10 years, 10 years anniversary.
Re-release,
But it's always evolving. It never stops.
It doesn't. Songwriting is also not necessarily just limiting us to just doing one song. It's, like we said earlier, having a lot of ideas coming into, we write this song, but then there's a bunch of other ideas or ways of writing, which is part of that evolving process. We really get into the good stuff about how to actually make room for this different instruments, how to properly, make, like a structure. How do we even, structure out the song? Like we said, how do we add in parts in a way that makes sense and at the same time is progressive? So it's a learning process that's really, like, it all started with Crystallized and then this, and then the rest of the album, of course, will be different versions of that same process, and the next album after that, and the next. So it's interesting to see, and it's been really, really fun process.
Yeah, it's been even though we played together for basically 10 years, there's still like a learning process from every song that we do, and this one is a lesson maybe in writing as much as you can, but still leaving room for the other people in the band to put their spin and put their creative energy to use. Right. But in other songs that we've written together, it's been more like, what do we do after this? We're hitting this wall, or we have too much creative energy where we need to be written, and then we need to scratch that because we just took it too far. Right. And we need to take a step back and say, okay, let's do it again.
You're never finished by learning all this stuff. Like, I've known you since kindergarten. We have played music together since high school.
Middle school.
Or high school, I think it's called in English, but 8th or 9th grade. So, and I've known you since over 10 years now.
Yeah, at least 12 now.
I think 2013.
I believe so.
When we started in that band together. So we have known each other a long time. I've known you even longer, and we're still learning how to write together, even though we have written music together in many years. But you're never finished, because as we learn to write music together, I'm evolving as a human, you're evolving as a human, and you're evolving. So that comes into it as well. So you're always evolving, and that's why you can see in different bands where for like 3 or 4 albums, they are working great together, and then suddenly in album 5, they start fighting because someone has experienced something in their life that changed a certain perspective. Like the Beatles, they became so big, and that changed their perspectives on things, and they became more. They started to go different ways, and so the band became difficult to kind of keep together when they wanted to do so many different things. And so hopefully that won't happen with us, but we'll always be
foreshadowing.
Hopefully. Like 10 years time there's
reunion.
There's a documentary about how Terravia broke up.
Oh no.
The fights behind the scenes.
Oh.
So
funerals,
yeah.
Oh no.
So but we're always evolving, and everything is like the song is evolving, our songwriting process is evolving, we are evolving. And
it is,
so it will become different down the road, and we'll see if it becomes better or worse. But
probably worse, but it's exciting nonetheless.
We know
because it's a new challenge every time, and it's a new adventure. Even though it's kind of we're writing a song, that's what we're doing, same as last time, but it's still a new adventure.
Yeah, like we're not finished with album 1 yet, but we're still starting to write album 2 and maybe even 3.
Yeah.
You know, we're always writing for the future, you know. So I suspect that album 2 will be released unless something happens. I think it will be released really fast after the first one.
Yeah.
Because we're so far into the process already. So it's interesting to see where it all goes.
Yeah. And now we're into the final part of, even though Arcane Horizons is released, it's going to be part of a record with other songs that is, would say 95% finished. We just need to tweak some stuff. We need to re-record some stuff, but most of it is a final product already and set in stone. But still, it takes time, right? It takes that bit of energy to finish it, but we need to get it out so we can start something fresh. Because the important part in songwriting process is to avoid the stagnant part, right? Because that's where ideas just go to die. And you can rediscover them in like 10 years and then start again. But I think it's important to just say, okay, this is good enough. It's as good as it's gonna get this year, and then that's good enough. Then you might sit on an idea for like 5 years and just tweak it and tweak it and tweak it. But we can't really afford that time right now.
Crystallized was released 3 years ago now, and
time flies.
In that time, by including 3 new members, it has really evolved. Like the version we're playing live sounds different, even though most of the sections is the same. It's just small things that make it sound different already. So that's just 3 years.
Exactly.
So the songs will evolve over time.
So let's try to finish like album 1 and album 2 before we get anniversary edition for Crystallized. So I think as a songwriting process we are I'm excited to work with you guys and just like keep riffing on ideas and to just spin that creative crank around and around. Sometimes it stops for me, but it keeps going for you, Anders, you, Petter, and the other guys, right? And I think that keeps the wheel spinning as a whole, even though it might stop for some of them at any given time, right? And sometimes it might get stuck for you, but I'm full of that creative juice, right?
It goes like you're bouncing ideas off people.
And sharing things, that's the important thing, because you don't get feedback until you share some stuff, right?
So I've learned that, like, I've started writing certain parts, and then I'm stopping here, even though I could go on, I'm just stopping here because I don't want it to be too much me. I want it to be other people as well. So that's also difficult at times, but it's important to kind of make it sound whole. Like it should sound like Terravia, not like Petter or Øystein.
Which I'm really glad that we managed to do with Arcane, because it started out like as like really an Øystein demo. It's like really progressive, really guitar driven. It's really it's kind of hard all over the place. And then we got it together as a band, and we formulated it so it became this whole thing. Which is much better than right now. And even though like I started with the when you came with the solo part, which is in 4/4, I was like, oh no, I don't want any 4/4 part on the song. And now it's not the same without it, right?
No,
right, and it needs that place to breathe, and it just fits really nice.
Yeah, after playing it live 3 times now, I've actually noticed like the audience really loves that section.
Oh yeah.
Like I can see like their heads are going like this, like okay.
Now finally I get it.
This is a groove I'm actually getting.
I've been bobbing my head like randomly, but now it's actually going.
Doing it in time. So that section actually really hits live. It works really well. So
it does.
It needs to be there actually.
Yeah, 4/4 is not always
Use it sparingly.
Use sparingly.
It's a powerful weapon. But it's dangerous to prog alone. Yeah.
It's dangerous to prog alone. Take this.
It's 4/4.
This is a 4/4. Take it. You need it. It's the most important tool.
You know, Meshuggah uses 4/4. It's good enough for us.
Yeah, everything is 4/4 if you just count enough.
That's true.
Yeah, that's the Meshuggah way. They're just like, everything is in 4/4. We're just fucking it up along the way.
Yeah. I think that's been a good part going through like the creative process we had, and the historic part of the song Arcane Horizons and how it came to be.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it molded together very organically, even though it was like chaotic at times. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I'm really proud of you guys and how much you like took in my shitty guitar idea and like and kneaded it into a good thing.
Yeah, the more we worked on it, the more I liked the song, because there was a section in the beginning where I felt like it sounds too much like Øystein.
Yeah, it does.
Too little like a band. But the more we worked on it, started to add more, especially like keyboards and more melodic stuff to it. It started to sound more and more like a band. And especially after Rowan added his stuff and Anders added his drums, it started to sound more organic, more bigger, and less like the guitar demo you gave us in the beginning. So it started to sound more like a band, and then the vocals came along, and and that 4/4 from you made a difference too. So it became a song I'm really big fan of now, and I'm glad we stuck with it, because at times I was actually afraid that, will this sound like Terravia?
Might not cut it, you know?
Yeah, I was worried at times that we might scrap the song, and I was worried if you would be somewhat heartbroken if we did it.
No,
it's like, it's the song that's most you on the album.
It is. Yeah.
So I was afraid that I didn't want to make drama out of it, but it ended up a very good song. And now it's released. Now it's a Terravia song officially.
Yeah.
It's no longer your song, it's our song. So it's no longer yours. And I'm taking this.
This we're showing here like snapshots in time. In reality, there has been a lot of back and forth where we have this drive folder where all of our ideas and things that we send back and forth in history. There's a lot of stuff where we are bounce back and forth ideas, and I think that has been very important in the songwriting process.
Yeah, so most of these ideas you see here, like we can't showcase all of them because most of them is like one small detail tweaked.
Yeah.
And that's a different file, but like 9 of the minutes is the same thing like as the previous. So it's many files, but they're usually just small tweaks.
Yeah.
And some of them are even just mixing things. Back when Henrik was mixing stuff, he gave us a mix of it. And then he gave a new mix of the same recordings. So it's a lot of overlap, but that's how you should work on a song. Just send out as much as possible. And it looks like trash right there now, but it's important part of the process. Like we're kind of doing all versions of how to write a song. Like we're meeting up at rehearsals, jamming. We sit down here and go through songs, recording stuff on the go, like right here, and kind of cut together a demo. And then we also send stuff back and forth, like I'm sending stuff from my home, you're sending from your home. So we're doing a blend of different writing styles to kind of get the best of all ways to do it.
I it's been a fun process. And, can't wait for the next one.
Yeah. It's cool.
So hopefully for you guys, if you're still listening, don't give up. It can be done, even though it might be impossible sometimes. It can be done. You just need to get help from your fellow mates and just share what you have and work towards kind of a small personal deadline so that you actually release something. And you don't hog it forever because you're never gonna release something. And if you don't,
even for people who might not have bandmates or anyone to play with yet, I would still say share it with friends, even though they're not playing an instrument. They might have feedback just from listening. As a listener, they might say this is too much, or this is too little, or this is weird, or something like that, and then you can take that into consideration and just say, do you agree or disagree? Because you might disagree and say, no, I still like it, even though they said they didn't like it, because it is subjective. So all feedback will be subjective to some degree, so you always have to think of it yourself, but it's important to kind of get some other people's perspective. Even though you end up doing the same thing, you're at least been forced to look at it again from different eyes and different perspectives. And even just look up forums or whatever on the internet and send out stuff and say, what do other people on the internet think about this? And so it's many ways to do it, even if you don't have physical musical friends around you.
Just put it out there, even if no one's listening. You put it out there, and that feeling is pretty great. To know that you have something that you put out there, you worked on it, and it might not be perfect, but it is something to actually judge, and that might give you the motivation to keep working on it. And to say that, I get all the good ideas after the deadline. Right? That's what usually happens sometimes. And then you had a deadline, right? You release some stuff, and then you have some more good ideas because you think, I should have done this, right? But you still have time to do that. Right? So I think that's pretty important to do, and also just find time, but also don't sit in all the time. Don't sit in like a cellar during the whole night like we're doing.
It's important to take breaks.
Take breaks, yeah.
Just like Wii Sports tell you when you play Wii Sports, take a break.
Yeah. And then you just press no and then keep
playing.
So close to the next idea.
Yeah, I can feel it. It's there. Yeah.
Have you opened a window recently?
Yeah.
No.
So, I think I think songwriting is a really good creative space, but it's frustrating.
Yeah.
I love music, hate music sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's just, I can't stop. Really can't stop.
Yeah, it's sort of like an abusive relationship. You love it, but you hate it as well. So.
I can't stand it sometimes, but I can't get away.
Yeah.
I can quit anytime, I promise. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, any
All right.
last words, anyone? Or should
Any
we
last,
just cut it?
any last words?
Any last words?
Never.
Never, no.
Quit.
Never.
Yeah.
Maybe quit. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe just quit the band.
Yeah.
Just stop. Do something else. Become an accountant. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lawyer. Something that gives you money. For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
This again.
Alright.
Alright.
Yeah.
Like, comment and subscribe everyone, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Here's the link tree somewhere in the description or on the screen or whatever. And listen to us on Spotify. Buy our albums when we have our albums on somewhere.
Eventually. Yeah.
And look how handsome our guitarist is.
He's taken. Sorry, ladies.
But he's also taken.
Yes.
And I'm taken.
Luckily.
Sorry guys, we're taken.
Sorry, guys. We'll feature some of the single guys in the next video.
Yeah. Maybe that should be our next video. Just
Yeah.
the other three members of the band is like dating Norway.
Oh, yeah.
They're going through Norway from north to south, dating through the entire country.
Terravia on Tinder.
Yay!
Oh, yeah. So, thank you for watching.
Bye bye.
Bye now. So we need to talk about our bassist situation. I think
Yeah.
I think someone needs to tell them that it's not.
It's not just working. Like, I mean, it was in the cards. You know, he's playing bass.
Yeah.
Who needs a bass
Not
player?
even a musician.
Like all the great bands just use playback on bass. Like one of the guitarists is just.
Could we
playing
just
something.
tune
Do we
down
need
the
to
guitar
real
down? We
bassists
just
at
have,
all?
yeah, we could get like an 8-string guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Just
some
have it,
guitar and some keyboards could just add the bassy stuff and then
Yeah,
just
right.
get him out of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's more money to the rest of it if it's just 5 or instead of 6.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Mm.
So who knows?
Yeah, we shouldn't be paid a guy like. Yeah.
And he's
So
such a
cool.
diva. Like he just shows up and doesn't do anything on the
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah. You can.
He doesn't set up anything. Like
He's playing a 6-string bass. That's a guitar.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically a
It's
guitar.
a guitar. Yeah.
Like, who
One-
doesn't
one
think
of it,
he
come
is
on.
like?
Pretty
We already
deep.
have 3 guitar players. What the fuck, man?
Yeah. We don't need a fourth. Yeah. Maybe if he started playing some guitar, he might actually get laid.
Yeah.
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 That's
He's-
something.
He really should get laid.
Yeah, I think he needs that.
He really needs it.
Others, will you?
With a table for tea.
Yeah, he didn't play bass.
Good job.